My name is Bennett, and what I am about to share will shake you to the core. I had never given much thought to near-death experiences until one ordinary morning turned into a journey beyond imagination. I was hurrying through my routine, a blur of work emails, urgent phone calls, and the relentless pursuit of deadlines, when in the midst of a routine drive, everything unraveled. One moment I was waiting at a traffic light, and the next, I was hurled into an alternate state of being. I distinctly remember the surreal sensation, a sudden, inexplicable lightness, as if gravity itself had loosened its grip on me. Glancing down, I witnessed a sight that defied all logic. My own motionless body, slumped in the driver's seat, marred by the violent aftermath of a collision. In that suspended moment, as chaos erupted around me with blaring sirens and panicked cries, I felt no pain. Instead, a deep calm seeped into my consciousness, a serene invitation to leave behind all that I once held dear. Before I could comprehend the transformation, my awareness detached from the confines of flesh. I became an observer, a silent witness to the unfolding scene, as if my soul had been set adrift into an uncharted realm. The crash, the shattering of glass, even the raw terror of those left behind, all faded into a distant murmur. In their place emerged a profound pull, a gentle yet irresistible call from beyond the physical world, beckoning me to step into an unknown territory of light and mystery. And as I ascended, I saw something that shook me to my very core. It was not just a glimpse of the afterlife, it was a revelation of the forces that truly control our world. I saw beyond the illusion of power that governments and leaders project. I saw the truth about the US dollar, the deception that holds the world in economic bondage, and the hidden hands that manipulate global events like pieces on a chessboard. In that timeless interval between life and death, I witnessed the reality of influence, the kind that goes beyond presidents and prime ministers, beyond elections and policies. I saw how the financial system is a carefully woven web, keeping entire nations in perpetual servitude. Even figures like Donald Trump, who many believe to be a lone disruptor, are merely participants in a much larger game. I understood then that true power is not held by those in the public eye, but by those who operate in the shadows, unseen and unknown to the masses. As the last vestiges of my physical reality slipped away, I surrendered to the call of the unknown. In that instant, I realized that what I had once deemed important, the endless chase for money, the ceaseless grind of daily routine, was nothing compared to the vast, intricate tapestry of existence that was revealing itself to me. I was no longer simply Bennett, a man defined by his mortal worries. I had become part of something infinitely larger. And so, with a heart both heavy and hopeful, I stepped into the luminous void that promised to unravel the hidden truths of our world. Drifting deeper into this transcendent realm, I found myself inside a vast, pulsating tunnel, a corridor of light that defied all earthly description. The walls shimmered with an ethereal palette, iridescent blues, molten golds, and flashes of silver intermingled in a dance that was both hypnotic and terrifyingly beautiful. In this place, the linearity of time was shattered. Past, present, and future merged into one continuous, surreal experience. As I floated onward, every fiber of my being was inundated with a flood of memories and images. I witnessed scenes from my life unfolding in vivid detail, moments of joy, regret, triumph, and sorrow coalescing into a mosaic that told the story of my existence. Each memory was illuminated not just as an isolated incident, but as a crucial thread in the fabric of a much larger design, a design that spanned far beyond the boundaries of my own experiences. Amid these personal revelations, a new layer of insight began to emerge, a vision of the world as it truly was, unmasked by the illusions of power and wealth. I saw in startling clarity how the endless pursuit of money had blinded humanity to the deeper truths of existence. The familiar symbols of power, the towering skyscrapers, the bustling trading floors, the very notes of the US dollar, appeared to me as mere phantoms. They were constructs, designed to captivate and control, while diverting our attention from the forces that truly governed our destiny. Then, as the shifting tapestry of light revealed its secrets, I saw global events unfold before me, not as isolated moments in history, but as a carefully orchestrated symphony of control. The faces of world leaders, billionaires, and secret councils flickered in and out of my vision, each one a player in a game far older than any government. Their movements were not random. They were guided by forces beyond human comprehension, forces that had shaped civilizations for millennia. And there, standing at the center of this cosmic chessboard, was a figure who could not be ignored: Donald Trump. His presence was undeniable, not merely as a politician, but as a catalyst in a much larger plan. Whether loved or hated, he was a disruptor, a piece in a game most would never understand. Through the vision, I saw how the world's perception of power was little more than a grand illusion, a carefully woven tapestry designed to keep the masses enthralled. The dollar itself pulsed like a living entity, its influence stretching like unseen tendrils across every nation. I understood then that wealth, as we knew it, was nothing more than an intricate mirage, a tool wielded by unseen architects to manipulate the course of history. The economy was never truly about supply and demand. It was about control, about ensuring that no one ever glimpsed the deeper truths hidden beneath the surface of our world. Every flash of light, every shift in the corridor, carried whispers of destiny and warnings of an impending reckoning. The structures humanity had built, economic, political, social, were fragile facades, designed to obscure the reality that true power was never measured in currency, votes, or laws. The forces at work were beyond mortal comprehension, and the time was drawing near when their full extent would be revealed. I drifted forward, drawn deeper into the mystery of existence. The revelations cascading through the corridor left me both awed and unsettled. I had been shown a glimpse of the truth, a truth that would shake the very foundations of society. And as I neared the heart of the tunnel, I knew that what lay ahead would change everything. In the midst of the swirling colors and cascading memories, I sensed an undeniable presence drawing near. The pulsating light receded, giving way to a vast, open space where the usual markers of physical existence dissolved into radiant energy. It was here, in this boundless realm, that I encountered a being of pure luminosity, a presence that radiated warmth, wisdom, and a profound love beyond all human measure. This being did not speak in the usual way. Rather, his message resonated directly within the core of my consciousness. "Bennett," the silent voice intoned, "you have been chosen to witness the truth behind the veil of illusion." His tone carried both comfort and urgency, as if the fate of the world hinged on the understanding I was about to receive. And then, he began to reveal the hidden tapestry of power that underpins our world. With each word that reverberated within me, the illusions of history unraveled before my eyes. I saw the vast network of forces that had for centuries shaped the destiny of nations, not through visible wars or political revolutions, but through an invisible system designed to control the very essence of human ambition. At the heart of it all pulsed a singular force: the US dollar. To the world, it represented prosperity and power, yet, in this realm of truth, it was exposed as something far more insidious, a tool of manipulation, a symbol of a system that enslaved rather than enriched. Its energy pulsed like a false heartbeat, dictating the rhythm of economies and swaying the fate of billions. But the revelations did not stop there. The luminous guide showed me that this system of monetary control was interwoven with the actions of a man whose very name divided the world. Donald Trump, polarizing, defiant, unpredictable, was more than a political figure. In the grand cosmic design, he was a fulcrum, a disruptor in a system built on control. He was neither purely villain nor hero, but a force that had sent shockwaves through the hidden foundations of power. His rise and fall were not the product of chance, but part of a deliberate cosmic interplay between forces that sought to maintain the illusion and those striving to shatter it. I saw visions of boardrooms and secret gatherings, where the true architects of global power deliberated over strategies not meant for public eyes. These were not simple business deals or policy negotiations. They were rituals of influence, shaped by energies and entities beyond mortal comprehension. The guide explained that while many believed wealth and political authority to be the ultimate power, true power resided in the unseen, a realm where spirit and energy dictated the fate of nations. In that sacred space, I came to understand that the struggle unfolding in our world was not a mere battle of politics or finance. It was an ancient war, waged not on battlefields, but in the very fabric of human consciousness. The forces at play were not limited to elected officials or financial elites. They were the stewards of an order that had existed for millennia. Trump's presence in this grand equation, whether intentional or not, had triggered something that neither his supporters nor his enemies fully understood. A crack in the carefully maintained illusion, a moment of reckoning where the world was forced to see behind the curtain. As I absorbed these staggering revelations, I realized that my near-death experience was not simply about personal enlightenment. It was a summons. The symbols of power, the dollar, the markets, the institutions we trusted, were mere distractions designed to keep us from recognizing the true forces at work. And in that radiant space, I knew that my purpose had changed. I had been given a glimpse of what lay beneath the surface of our world, and now my mission was clear: to awaken others, to help them see beyond the superficial trappings of material wealth, and to guide them toward the truth that had been hidden for so long. The luminous presence continued to guide me, peeling back the final layers of deception that veiled the true nature of our world. What I once believed to be a complex but functional financial system was revealed as something far more sinister, an elaborate illusion woven to ensnare humanity in a perpetual cycle of dependence and control. At the heart of this illusion pulsed the US dollar, not merely a form of currency, but a force, an energy field designed to shape the very fabric of civilization. I saw visions of immense financial networks stretching like an intricate web across the globe, binding entire nations in invisible chains. The dollar, worshipped as the lifeblood of economies, was, in truth, a tool wielded by a hidden elite to dictate policy, steer conflicts, and manufacture consent. It was not just money, it was power distilled into a symbol, a mechanism designed to keep humanity focused on the pursuit of material wealth, while the true architects of control remained unseen. Propaganda, legislation, and clandestine agreements upheld this system, ensuring that while people fought to earn, spend, and save, they never questioned who truly owned the game. Amid these revelations, the presence of Donald Trump emerged once again, larger than life. His rise, his controversies, his endless battles against the establishment, none of it was random. He was both a product and a disruptor of the system, a figure whose every move sent ripples through the carefully maintained illusion. His wealth, his policies, his very presence on the world stage symbolized a deeper war, one not fought with bullets but with perception, influence, and energy. Trump was an anomaly in the grand equation, a man whose role in this cosmic struggle was more profound than even he might have understood. The guide revealed that the forces behind the financial system were not recent creations, but ancient, relentless, and deeply embedded in the foundations of human history. Those who controlled the wealth of nations were not mere businessmen or politicians. They were stewards of a system designed to keep humanity shackled to an illusion of power. The US dollar, venerated as the pinnacle of prosperity, was nothing more than a golden calf demanding unquestioning loyalty. Yet, even in the face of such deception, there was hope. The guide spoke of an impending collapse, an unavoidable reckoning where the weight of lies would finally break under their own gravity. The true power, the kind that could not be controlled or commodified, resided within the human spirit. It was love, truth, and the divine wisdom etched into every soul that would ultimately shatter the illusion. As the old system crumbled, a new reality was waiting to emerge, one not built on manipulation, but on the true essence of existence itself. A deep sense of responsibility flooded my being. This experience was not meant to be a revelation for me alone. It was a call to action. The battle for humanity's soul was not waged through economics or politics, but through the unseen currents of consciousness and intent. The dollar, the markets, and even Trump himself were mere symbols in a much greater story, signposts pointing toward an inevitable awakening. As I stood in that luminous space, I made my decision. I would return, not as the same person who had left, but as a messenger, a witness to the truth hidden behind the grand illusion. The world had been kept asleep for too long. Now it was time to wake up. The visions surged with greater intensity, exposing the intricate machinery that bound politics and finance into a single unified force of control. The US dollar was no longer just a medium of exchange. It was the lifeblood of an entire system engineered to shape the course of human history. It functioned as both a tool and a snare, an energy field that dictated the rise and fall of nations, compelling leaders to make decisions that defied morality and logic. In this luminous space, I could see the invisible threads linking every financial transaction, every policy shift, every secretive deal, all of them leading back to the same source. A force that thrived on human ambition, redirecting it toward material gain at the cost of true spiritual enlightenment. Amid this intricate web of power, the figure of Donald Trump appeared once more, larger than life. His speeches, his victories, his defeats, all played out before me, not as mere events in the political landscape, but as messages, encoded signals sent forth by those who manipulated the system from the shadows. His trade wars, his nationalist rhetoric, his bold defiance of the status quo, each action reverberated through the unseen currents that sustained the illusion of control. He was both a disruptor and a pawn, a figure who simultaneously upheld the system and exposed its flaws. The guide's voice, resonating in the depths of my being, urged me to look beyond the surface. Wealth is an illusion, Bennett. A nation's true power is not measured in currency, but in the wisdom and unity of its people. As I absorbed these words, I saw how the pursuit of material wealth had blinded entire societies to the transient nature of their achievements. Nations built on the worship of money stood at the edge of collapse, their leaders trapped in cycles of greed and exploitation. Even Trump, for all his defiance, was ensnared in the relentless machinery of ambition, a participant in a grand design that extended far beyond his own understanding. The darker aspects of this system revealed themselves. Economies manipulated by unseen hands, governments ensnared in deception, entire populations pacified by the promise of prosperity, while the true architects of power worked in secrecy. The US dollar was not merely a currency. It was a weapon wielded by ancient forces, forces that had existed long before modern governments, shaping history with an agenda that remained concealed from the masses. They used money as a means to shift power, elevating some while casting others into despair, ensuring that the cycle of control remained unbroken. Yet, even in the face of such a formidable system, the guide revealed a vision of change. The collapse of this illusory order was not only possible, it was inevitable. The structures built upon deception and greed were crumbling under the weight of their own contradictions. And from the ashes, a new paradigm was waiting to emerge, one in which power was no longer measured by wealth, but by the strength of human consciousness, the awakening of the spirit, and the unity of those who refused to be governed by illusion. I began to understand that Trump's role was paradoxical. He was, on one hand, a symbol of the corruption that had dominated the world for centuries. But on the other, his very presence had become a catalyst for change, a disruption that forced people to question the reality they had accepted for so long. His influence was not just political, it was energetic, a force that revealed the deep fractures within the old order. The struggle unfolding was not about individual leaders, nor about political ideologies. It was the battle between an ancient paradigm of control and the emerging awareness of a higher, more enlightened way of existence. As these final revelations unfolded, I knew that my journey had not been for me alone. I had been given these visions to share, to awaken those still ensnared in the illusion, to expose the hidden hands that had guided history, and to help usher in the transformation that was already beginning to take shape. The world stood on the precipice of something profound, and my purpose had never been clearer. Returning from the depths of revelation, I re-entered the world of the living, but I was no longer the same. The echoes of my journey reverberated within me, an unbroken thread binding me to the truth I had witnessed. The pulsating image of the US dollar, a false heartbeat dictating the course of nations, remained etched in my mind. So too did the vision of Donald Trump, a man both shaped by and trapped within a system designed to enthrall the masses through illusion and control. My guide's final words resounded in my soul. Real power, Bennett, does not reside in the transient lure of wealth or the fleeting triumphs of politics. It is found in love, in unity, and in the awakening of the human spirit. The collapse of the old world was not a possibility, it was a certainty. The false idols of money and authority, long revered as the pillars of civilization, would soon crumble, exposing the emptiness at their core. The great symbols that had dictated the course of history, the almighty US dollar, the political elite, would lose their grip as the deeper forces of transformation took hold. I saw the landscape of the world shifting beneath the weight of unseen forces. Entire nations, once assured of their financial dominance, began to falter. Institutions that had stood unchallenged for generations trembled as the foundations of their power eroded. But this was not a destruction to be feared. It was a necessary unraveling, a clearing of the way for something far greater. Emerging from the wreckage was a new paradigm, one not built upon control, but upon consciousness. The true battle was no longer fought on the fields of economics or political debate. It was a battle for the very soul of humanity. Standing at the precipice of this transformation, I knew I could not remain silent. The truth I had glimpsed demanded to be shared. For too long, humanity had been conditioned to believe that power resided in the hands of a privileged few, that wealth and governance dictated the fate of the world. But the true architects of reality were not the financial magnates nor the political figures who commanded the airwaves. They were the unseen energies that shaped existence, the universal forces that connected us all beyond the illusions of material dominance. I implore you, look beyond the golden veneer of wealth, beyond the theatrical spectacle of politics. See the world for what it truly is, a stage upon which an ancient drama unfolds, a struggle between those who would keep humanity asleep and those who are ready to awaken. The US dollar, with its seductive promise of security, and the figure of Trump, with all his controversies and contradictions, are merely surface reflections of a much deeper conflict. The real power in this world lies not in money, nor in government, but in the unity of human consciousness and the courage to break free from the chains of illusion. As the old order collapses and a new reality emerges, remember this: the choices you make in the coming days will shape the world to come. Do not be swayed by the fleeting allure of wealth or the manufactured narratives of political division. Instead, let your heart be guided by wisdom, by compassion, by the eternal truth that has always been within you. My near-death journey was not a mere personal experience. It was a message, a revelation meant for all who are willing to listen. It stripped away the veil and laid bare an undeniable truth. True power has never belonged to those who control money or dictate policy. It has always belonged to us, to the awakened, to the seekers, to those who refuse to bow before the illusions of the past. And so I leave you with this call: awaken. Rise beyond the illusions that have enslaved generations. The reckoning is here, and in its wake, the light of true power will shine forth, a light that no darkness, no leader, no system of control can ever extinguish.